Hello and welcome back to another Roblox Draw Space video. So in this speed paint and on the release of this video, Jujutsu Kaisen just wrapped up its season 3 finale, and of course the adaptation was absolute cinema. And since I've caught up with the manga, I knew that this manga panel was coming up and I was so interested to see how they would adapt it, and they pretty much did like a one-to-one adaptation. I like how they adapt to manga panel pages fairly seamlessly, I think, especially with this finale episode. And yeah, I just had to do another one of these like manga panel study speed paints again for Jujutsu Kaisen. And you can see in the beginning of the video I actually put sketch lines down this time because there's a lot more going on. I mean, there's actual panels to like divide up the 3 characters. I feel like I could have maybe done a little bit more time on the sketch because I realized that when I started doing the line work here with the fountain pen tool, that it was still tiny, a little bit squashed. It won't feel like that in the final result, but looking at the sketch and then at the reference, the manga panel reference, it was kind of squashed in my drawing. But I do kind of make it up in the end because I feel like the final results were still quite solid. I'm still kind of blown away by this fountain pen tool. I don't know how they managed to make it so even on like the smallest brush size, it doesn't become dotted or like separated. It's still a very consistent line, which is very impressive. And with the actual drawing part here, like the inking process, it's very tempting to just kind of focus on maybe one character at a time, like hyper invest all the line work and all the toning on one character and then moving on. I knew the fun part was doing the shading and all like the cross-hatching toning work. But for me and my process, and what I thought was a lot more efficient, was to get the actual characters themselves established on the scene, all 3 of them, before doing that fun part. So have the foundations down before heading into detail. And you might see that I'm working on Yuta's hand with his ring. It might bother you throughout the video, but I low-key nearly forgot to add detail on that hand until like the very last minute. So I'm sorry if you look at Yuta's hand with a ring and I'm not doing anything with it. I do, like in the very end. And with Yuta's head over here, I high-key just freestyled that because in the manga panel itself, Yuta's hair and the background are completely black and I couldn't see anything. Like there's no like actual visible detail, so that was scary. And what was also scary was this hand, this domain expansion hand sign from RYU here. I was like, how on earth was I supposed to do that? But it was okay in the end because I was using reference anyway. It was quite a crazy hand position. Okay, now since we have the foundations of the drawing down, we can actually get onto the fun part here, starting with the detail on URO. And you could just see here the fountain pen tool just absolutely going crazy how thin you could make the line and still make it look super good. And of course I wanted to give equal attention to every character on the manga panel, just so you can have that sense of visual consistency and not make it look like you put effort into one character compared to the other. And yeah, you can just see how thin you can get with the fountain pen tool here. Those really thin scratches. I don't know how Gruli and his brother programmed this game. But yeah, this detailing part with the cross-hatching was super fun, and just seeing that texture of the inky fountain pen just do the magic for me basically. So yeah, enjoy the detailing process now. Since I just kind of lock in here, I'll be back shortly. So for this part you might be wondering like why I'm using pink. Just in case you haven't seen from my last speed paint video on this game, you can actually use a tool in Draw Space that replaces the color of the line that you put down, or like the colors that you put down. So the pink here will all be replaced with black eventually, because again, like you kind of just need that visual separation or that visual break from using all that solid black. And I do that with the background as well, so it does look kind of goofy here with all the pink, but it's just a way to separate elements from each other because, again, this manga panel specifically has so much black to it, and yeah, I just needed these color separations so that I wouldn't get lost in the painting process. So yeah, I'm doing that thing again where I am not filling in the text in the speech bubble. To me personally, it just looks really cool. Like, I can't explain it, it just stands out in this like cool, just like the raw artwork itself without the text. It just, in my mind, it just kind of works. And you can see the magic really happening here where I could just go over it with black and the characters start to come together a bit more. And that red jump scare there, I kind of got ahead of myself. I started doing the background detail before hitting record, so that red jump scare was just my fault there. But I did the same method basically of down a different color and then replacing it. Here you'll see me do the white details and like the little white streaks to just establish texture in the hair. And the fun, inconsistent little ink blobs, again the fountain pen tool doing crazy work there. And to really sell the illusion of this being like a JPEG almost, I use the same tactic with replacing the colors for like the border using the straight line tool to just give it this border and then replacing it with white. And there you have it, the three-way domain clash between RYU, Yuta and URO, all ruined by a curse that nobody invited. Anyway, pinch to zoom if you're on tablet or phone to have a good look at the image. And yeah, I can't wait for season 4 of Jujutsu Kaisen, and thank you for watching.